Hi everyone, welcome to this video. Today we are going to represent our data in the form of maps using Excel, R and Python. First we'll start with Excel. So I'll just select my data, go to insert and click on maps. And you see this, okay, one thing, yeah, this will work like this. So if I just enlarge it, this is a very simple way of displaying the data on the map. We can click on the chart title to change the name. I would call it sense data. One more thing we can do is, right now you can see that the data that has been shown is based on the latitude. The map is based on the latitude. If we want to make it based on the sales data only, then we can change the data type. So we'll go to select data and we'll remove other kind of data that we have here and we'll just select sales, and you will see that now the map is shown on the basis of the number of sales geographically, right? One more thing we can do is we can add data labels here, and this way it also shows the number of the sales for every location. Yeah. And then we can just simply copy paste it from here to our reports. That's one way. So this is a 2D map of the geographical representation. We can also create a 3D map in Excel. I will delete this. Now I'll just select this data and go to, one second, yeah, this data, and I'll go to help and I'll say 3D map and click here. Now when I click on 3D map, it gives me a new window, something like this. As you can see, the 3D map is there. I'll select the sales. Okay. All the data is here already. Now what I want is the representation of sales data geography wise. So on the height column I would click and select sales. Now sales is here. I'll minimize this, and you can see this pillars that represent the sales, but this is not very visually comprehensible to everyone. So what we can do is we can select these circles. It also shows us the data, or I find this more convenient because the size of the circle tells us where the sales is more. This is how it is. Now after that there are other options where you can convert it into a flat map like we just saw, and if we click back it goes back to again a 3D representation. The good part is that it also helps us to create a video here. So if I create, so this can be the first slide of the video, and if we create a new scene, and in the scene 2 I focus on certain part, let's say here, and zoom it in a bit, it shows me some this geographical data, and then I create another scene and I put in another geography here, and if I click this, the video would look something like this. Right. Now this is downloadable as a MP4 video also. So if you click on create video, you can download it in these formats. Right. Now you have different themes also you can try. I don't find these themes very comfortable, but you know, depending on your needs, you can always make changes whatever is required. That's there. I'll download this as a presentation for now. So the video takes a couple of minutes. I have fast forwarded it, and I'll add the video after this section so that you can have a look at it. To get out of this window, I'll just close it, and we are again back to our data. Now, I think for reports and for our general purpose, 2D map in Excel is the fastest and most convenient way to represent data geographically. But there are ways to create it, such maps in R language and Python language also, and we'll be doing that. And on every platform, the map comes out in a different way. So based on our requirement, we can use the platforms. Next, I'll go to R to create the map for this data. Okay, so I already have the data in the Excel sheet. Based on that, I'll write the R code, and that will be represented here as a map. I already have the code written to save the time. This is something like uh, importing the essential libraries. This is to read Excel file, this is for plotting, and this is finally to represent it in geographical map, in the world map. This line of code is to read the Excel data sheet. This is to import the data in world map, and this code is specifically to write how to represent this data in the form of map. Basic formatting that we need: light gray, white, right? Yeah, and I'll just run this. Okay, so with this line of code, this is how the data will be represented in the form of world map. Okay. Now with editing the basic code, you can also make some changes in the map, the representation of it basically. Um, so for example, you have the colors here, and you can always change these colors. Okay. You see, this is basic formatting changes. You can always play around that. This is how in R the data can be represented. Okay, all right. Now this can be saved as an image. And add it to your report. Next, we'll try the same thing in Python language. You can see here in R the way the code has been written. It is showing both customers and sales in the world map. The customers data is being shown by the color of the circles, and whereas the sales is being shown by the number of sales, the size of the circle. Right? So that's a good thing here, and unlike the map that we created in Excel. Okay, to run the Python program, I'm using Microsoft Visual Studio. and I have the code ready with me. So this is again importing Panda and Plotly libraries as essential, then the code to read Excel file, and then the formula around how the figure should be. So the figure formula is there in the form of scatter geo, which represents geographical map, and the basic formatting arguments here. And I'll run this. Okay, so when we run the program, this Microsoft Visual Studio opens an HTML file, something like this. Now, this again represents the data in a world map form, but it is showing on the basis of number of customers. But if you go back to your code, you will see that size is mapped by sales. So again, the size of circles is representing sales and the color is representing customers. Okay. Now if we click here, we can download this as a PNG file and use it on our report. This gives us another some options to select, minimize, maximize, reset, or even pan this map. Right. Yep. Right. So this is it. These are three ways of representing your data in the world map using Excel, R, and Python. I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment.